Welcome to part 2 of this series on how to roll trolls and stump Trumpists. In part 1, I did my best to embody what's really going on with Trumpists, putting myself in their shoes and recognizing that they could be my shoes too, since nothing human is foreign to me or any of us. The big takeaway is this: more than we notice or admit, we humans are dogged by a needy, needling inner voice other critters don't hear, an inner anxiety that nags. Am I okay? I hope I'm okay. Maybe I'm great. Maybe I'm shit. Am I okay? This anxiety can make any of us susceptible to some MAGA-like movement that offers us an easy, reliable way to feel perma-affirmed, like we're guaranteed to always feel great about ourselves, permanently affirmed as heroes. That, I'll argue, is all that MAGA is. Just another escapist hero-playing cult. Just another fake existential threat vanity project like countless others throughout history. They all try to distract us with claims that they are anything but a mass addiction to playing hero. But that's all they are. I have a master's in public policy and a PhD in philosophy. I'm just the kind of nerd who would be tempted to roll up my sleeves and debate the finer points of Trump's policies and philosophy. But studying their walk, not just their talk, I see nothing but people playing hero the way children do, and the way we're all tempted to. It's just the sound of humans imagining themselves to be eternally right, righteous, and mighty. It's a sado-narcissistic vanity project, and just the kind of fantasy that has always appealed to us self-doubting humans. It's Trumpists reveling in the generic, ecstatic, aerobic, robotic joy of robotically blaring Trump's heroic moral police siren at rivals to drown out the sound of their own needy, needling inner voices of self-doubt. Trump has addicted his followers to feeling eternally holy and heroic. It's not just that Trump could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and not lose a single voter. It's that if he did, he'd still pose as the absolute moral authority, the high priest blaring his police siren at everyone despite his bottomless corruption. Even if he faced legal consequences, he'd still play moral authority from prison. No matter what he does, he plays heroic supreme judge, deciding what's fair, honest, right, and righteous, and invariably in his own favor. That's why he wouldn't lose a single vote. His supporters want in on his unbroken winning streak strut of eternal heroism. No other leader, let alone human, will ever be as right, righteous, and mighty a hero as Trump pretends to be. He is running on nothing more than getting away with pretending he always wins. His supporters are Don wannabes. They want that kind of heroic authority. And Trump, the branding whiz, has branded his name to the simple, generic, robotic formula for playing hero. Herobotics, robotically playing hero. Heroin was so named because it made users feel like heroes. That drug isn't the only way people can get high on playing hero. Escapist existential vanity project cults have always played this role. Most folks dabble in playing hero, for example, watching TV and identifying with heroes, but some get addicted. Fad cult after fad cult, each offering the same generic formula for playing hero, as if it's exclusive to them. The formula is simple, robotic, mindless. It's a sorting trick. All you have to do is ignore what words mean. If they sound good, they're about you. If they sound bad, they're about anyone threatening to reinfect you with self-doubt. You've seen Trump do it. I'm the best, you're the worst. No, I'm not bad, you are. No, you're not good, I am. Heads I win, tails you lose. And if you don't like that, tails I win, heads you lose. If you keep sorting like that, you feel triumphant no matter what. Okay, so how do you deal with people who've gotten addicted to that robotic formula? How do you take down someone programmed only to elevate themselves and demote rivals? How do you humbly humble someone whose sole goal is to avoid human humility? Okay, now I'll play one of us trying to do just that. And I'm going to play it to show how hard it is and how what we're doing isn't working. I'll also, by the end of this, point to an obvious, easy, effective alternative, which I'll be acting out in the next few videos. Okay, ready? Here I go. I'm proud to be part of the anti-MAGA resistance and to know how to fight against evil. I share memes all the time, or at least when it's safe. I mean, my job limits what I can share. I can't afford to be too critical in public. But still, I let my opinion be known. I've lost a few friends over my anti-Trump stance. Not many. Most know better than to fall for Trump's BS. Though I've been surprised by a few friends and relatives who drank the Kool-Aid. I had to let them go. The rest of us, we stay positive. We keep hope alive. Positive and hopeful. Not like those MAGA people. They hate positivity. They hate hope. They're on some kind of ego trip. I'm more zen about it. I'm trying to stay egoless. Until recently, I felt like I was doing my part by expressing my outrage and angst and listening to others express theirs. I've been warning about this stuff getting out of hand for a long time. The right wing, patriarchy, capitalism, colonialism, the threat of fascism. I meant it, and I thought we were making progress on getting them to back down. So yeah, I'm surprised how fast my fears are coming true. We had hope, we had time. Apparently, less time than we hoped. I assumed what I was doing was working. I just followed my intuition, my gut response to this all, outrage and angst, mostly on social media, sometimes directly with Trump supporters, relatives, co-workers, though mostly, I guess, preaching to the choir. In my few actual dealings with Trumpists, like in online exchanges, I'd get angry and they'd talk to me like I was their child, freaking out over some phantom nothing burger. They'd say I had Trump derangement syndrome. I'd deny it and give them reasons they were wrong about me and in general. They'd ignore what I said. They'd tell me to calm down and be rational like them. That outraged me more and that didn't help. I ended up backing down. Don't like conflict. I try appealing to their compassion, too. My friends and I would talk about how scary, dangerous, and threatening it was all getting. That didn't work either. When I'd get angry, they'd talk down to me like I was a kid throwing a tantrum. When I'd talk about how scary it was getting, they'd talk down to me like I was a bedwetter. Whether I got angry or scared, it emboldened them to act like they were tough and rational. Which drives me crazy. I'm way more rational than they are, so I'd fact-check them and expose the flaws and inconsistencies in their arguments. That's my strong suit. It always felt like a win to me. In a formal debate, I definitely have won because these guys spout such nonsense. That's one of the ways I kept strong and hopeful. I'd watch YouTube videos with titles like "Trump supporter gets his ass kicked in debate." It'd be some commentator showing clips of MAGA fools and exposing how hypocritical and lame they are, or sometimes talking, like interviewing a MAGA supporter and exposing, at least to my satisfaction, that they're just spewing BS. Sure, ass-whooped by my standards, but the Trumpists never seemed ass-whooped. They smiled with blank confidence. I don't think I ever saw a Trump supporter look tongue-tied, bested, thrown off balance, punked, or ass-whooped. Come to think of it, not once since Trump threw his red hat into the ring in 2014 or whenever it was, have I seen him look thrown off balance. Not once has anyone cut or shamed him or any of his many minions. Not to their faces. It's like they had their capacity for self-doubt surgically removed. They always look triumphant, smug, vindicated above it all, no matter what anyone does. Now no one gets to do much, not to their faces. That's what hurt most about watching the Biden-Trump debate. It was like the first time in years a non-suck-up would get a chance to cut Trump face to face, make him flinch. And Biden, you couldn't pick a guy less up to the task. It's getting embarrassing to watch our leaders flail from the sidelines while MAGA struts victorious. Not that I know what to do to shame them. I expose their hypocrisy, and they chuckle like it proves they're clever, proud that they can get us all tangled up in the BS they spew. They get our attention. That's a win. Maybe I'm enabling them to take their arguments seriously. Maybe hypocrisy isn't even a source of shame for them. Maybe it's a source of pride, like a status symbol. I can see why kings and billionaires get away with all the hypocrisy they want. They don't have to care about what others think. That's the general impression I get from MAGA. To them, our opinions don't count, or only count as proof of how weak we are. We're not real Americans. They don't have to listen because we'll be shut out of the conversation soon, intimidated out of protesting. And they could be right. I'm not used to having to fight. I've tried reaching out and being decent with them, hoping they'd be decent back. I've had faith that if you meet folks halfway, they'll do their part for the other half. But now I get the feeling they've just been humoring me while gathering guns for a civil war. And I don't know what I'd do if things got really ugly. I've lived a safe and easy life. I'm not used to real physical threats. They're always attacking us on moral ground. I mean, they'll shame us any chance they get. And it works. They can get me second-guessing myself and backing down, even though I know they're just spouting BS. But when I respond in kind, they just laugh. They scold us for our immorality and then laugh at us for caring about morality. I don't know how they do that. I couldn't. I mean, I don't know what's gotten into them. I'll never understand people like that. They're like a different species altogether. More and more, I can't stand to read the news. Too depressing. And talk to Trumpists? Why bother? More and more, I'm thinking, don't argue with them. It's a total waste of time. Disengage. Never fight with the pig. You'll just get dirty and the pig likes it. Still, I wake up in the middle of the night and think, shit, it's here. I should have fought these pigs more. It's just that I can't figure out how, because nothing works with them, because nothing means anything to them. They'll say anything to claim victory. I can call them duped until I'm blue in the face, but that's not how they feel. They feel like they found the secret to an eternal winning streak. They're shameless and shameless about being shameless. I can't figure them out. Maybe it's best to just hope that they'll self-destruct. Then again, it's looking less and less likely that they will. Trumpism is like heroin, a cheap, easy, reliable way to play hero. It's also like masturbation. These may sound like more insults I'd fling at their deaf ears to out-hero them, but I mean something different that I think will be key to a more effective way of dealing with them. See, knowing that we humans are an anxious species, I believe in heroin and masturbation. I think we all need it. Indeed, our bodies produce their own heroin, endorphins, that help us manage anxiety. And daydreaming about our own heroism is a universal and fundamental coping strategy. It's a kind of self-pleasuring I'm not ashamed to admit I do, nor should you be. I'm not afraid to admit that I cope with the difficulties of being human by masturbating to fantasies that I'm a hero, including sexual masturbation, which has been a source of shame since about the 1700s, I think largely because we are afraid to admit how needy we are. We need to not feel needy. But I'm happy to shame Trumpists and other hero bots for doing it in public, masturbating in public, turning statecraft into a circle jerk fictional vanity project when there are so many relatable movie heroes to jerk off to safely. The more effective way to stump Trumpists: don't debate them. They're just masturbating to you taking the bait. Expose that that's all they're doing. Expose that they'll say anything to pretend they're heroes. They're jerking off in public. More on that in the next video, where I'll begin to show how it's done based on lots of experience I've had successfully disappointing Trumpists. Are into as much raw introspection about the human condition as I am. And if you're one of them, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And that's another thing. I'm for hire. I do strategic consulting on dealing with life's tough judgment calls and dealing with total jerks. My email's down below. Get in touch for a free sample session. Thanks.